when I read about you getting the part on Mad Men and like the famously 7 auditions, like 7 fucking auditions. Yeah.
At every one of those steps, if I would have sucked, it would have been,
Out.
bounced. Next.
Yeah. I was watching some dude. I don't know whether he was director of the show or creator of the show. They were interviewing him, and he's talking about how no one wanted you. They didn't want you, not because of your acting. They didn't want you because you weren't a name. They wanted a name for that.
Exactly.
All odds were against you getting this thing. I mean, it was a
For
game
sure.
changer. I mean, it really isn't so easy to get that gig. But why
Then
7?
you have to do the job.
Yeah. Yeah. Then you got to be good.
Yeah. Why 7 was because I started at the very, very, very bottom. I was not even on the list.
Wow.
So I wasn't. I remember. I'll never forget it. I remember the first audition for this show was for the casting directors who I hadn't met because they were based in New York City, and it was at an advertising agency in Santa Monica. I lived over in Los Feliz, Silver Lake, so I live on the other side of LA. And LA people will know that that is not an easy commute, especially in February when it was raining. So it took me about 2 hours to get to this audition where I'm sitting next to like a 15-year-old kid waiting, a sign-in sheet and waiting, and the kid goes, "Are you here for the toothpaste commercial?" And I go, "What?" "No." And then I thought, well, maybe I could get a job on that toothpaste commercial.
Yeah, what if we could go in? What's the matter with you?
Why not? I got decent
Right.
teeth,
Yeah, nice teeth.
But, I was like, maybe I could double dip on this. It's a 2-hour drive. I have another 2 hours on the way back. It's still raining.
So in
Maybe
other
I could,
words, you
double
weren't
dip on this.
thinking, you weren't walking in there thinking this was going to be the biggest break of my career if I get this thing. Like,
I walked in there thinking I really, really liked this script. I remember reading the script and putting it down and thinking, "Holy shit, that's a really good story." And then I read it again to make sure I didn't make it up in my head that it was better than it was. I was like, "No, this is really good." So
but
I really wanted it.
do you ever get into like who else went up for that role? Because when you start at the bottom, you don't know. But then you get to the third, the fourth audition, and then you start to go, wait a second, I could get this fucking thing. This might be a real opportunity. This could actually happen. And now you're in the running. Do you start to like, who else is up for this thing?
There's a sign-in sheet. Like there's names and you can look at the names who's signed in. It's not just the kid going out for the toothpaste ad anymore. Now it's people whose names you start to recognize. The only name that I remember from any of those sign-in sheets, and I've since heard that, oh, they were out to this guy and maybe this guy was going to do it and who knows how true any of that is. But the only name I remember from that sign-in sheet was Josh Molina, who I'm not sure had a great shot at being Don Draper, but it would have been a choice. It would have been a interesting. And I love Josh. He's a great, wonderful actor.